Hi, I'm Beth with ThomasNet, and we're here at the Social Media Week, the last day. I'm here with Jason Kincaid from TechCrunch. He's a writer. Jason, can you tell me a little bit about what you do and why you're here today?
I write for TechCrunch, so I write about everything from consumer-facing web startups to big companies like Google and Facebook and so on, and then mobile devices, a whole lot of things, which is really awesome because I get to write about lots of interesting things. So that's what I do, and that's why I'm here. I was talking about the future of social.
And can you tell me what the future of social technology is going to look like as a business application?
I mean, it sort of depends. Businesses, by and large, tend to move slowly, right? That's sort of the reputation. I think that they're increasingly discovering that you can use services like we use Yammer internally at TechCrunch to keep tabs on what people are doing. Asana is another one that came out several months ago that lets businesses keep tabs of projects and then what each individual employee is working on. I think what they're going to have to figure out is the balance between the effort that required of the employee and what value people get out of having them input that effort. That didn't really make too much sense. I guess the issue for me is that whenever you have a service where I have to manually tell the service what I'm doing all the time, every day, it's a pain in the butt. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to forget. And so they need to figure out what updates are actually going to be useful for other coworkers and for your boss and so on. And what that looks like will probably look fairly similar to Facebook, I guess, which is why you've seen stuff like Chatter looks kind of like Facebook. But yeah.
What can long-standing companies and businesses that don't really know too much about the social media scene do to start? What can they do today? Say 3 things they can do to get started.
Well, I would probably check out the most popular business-focused services for keeping tabs on people, some of which I've mentioned already. 3 things. All right, so what are 2 other things that I would do were I a business? I would consider, if I wasn't already, moving the productivity side of things as far as like Word. I would look at web solutions like Google has Google Docs, Microsoft has its own web integrated versions of Office with the newer ones. I think you can derive a lot of value. First, you don't have to pay for some of these, or at least you don't have to pay very much. And also the fact that people can collaborate simultaneously. You don't have to deal with all these issues around software updates. So I guess that's number 2. Number 3, I don't know. I think 2 is all right, hopefully. Cool.
That's great. And finally, let's talk about manufacturing business. Our audience is the manufacturing business. And do you think the future of social technology is going to go as far as devices tweeting themselves or Facebook friending other people? How do you think that's going to look in the future?
So I think what's going to wind up happening is that Android is going to wind up embedded on a lot of consumer electronics devices. And I'm sure Apple and Microsoft have their own plans along these lines. Android is just the one that I think will probably get the earliest adoption just because it's open. And you'll probably see different forks that are optimized for various chipsets and stuff. As far as what that stuff will look like, I think we're going to see kind of what you said. I don't know how useful seeing tweets on all these various hardware devices would be, but reminders would be awesome, right? Calendar apps, stuff that as I walk around my home can help me become more efficient would certainly come in handy. Also, something else, Google actually demonstrated at I/O last year these Android connected light bulbs, which are really nifty. You can coordinate the lights to not only games, but you could set it up in applications so that the lighting changes based on when your alarm on your phone went off, that sort of thing. So I think there's a lot of potential for innovation. The one thing I hope the manufacturers keep in mind is that when you're dealing with this sort of software, quality really matters, and that if you're giving people a bad experience, they're going to have options. So I would try to make it polished.
Thank you very much.